do think it's going to lead to more efficient, faster credit decisioning, which if you're not leveraging it, fast forward 5 years, I think you're going to be left behind.
What niche or emerging sectors within private credit present the most compelling opportunities for growth, and how do you assess the unique risks associated with these sectors, maybe compared to traditional lending?
Yep, so I will answer that question with a 3-letter word, which is ABF. And for those of you who don't know, ABF stands for A Big Friggin' Opportunity. Just kidding. That's your mnemonic for the day. ABF stands for asset-based financing. Alex briefly touched on it already. But taking a step back, so when we talk about traditional direct lending, we're talking about corporate middle market loans to sponsored businesses. They're cash flow based, and they're usually for M&A and LBO financing. That's really been the bread and butter of private credit thus far. Though capital continues to flood this market, you see more and more direct lenders entering the space. You see slower deal flow, and so it's now become a very competitive space to get allocations, and spreads have come down. You know, there's money on the table that is looking for a home, and so I'd say within the kind of still direct lending space, in terms of what are the more niche areas that are becoming more popular, you're starting to see more lending to, for example, non-sponsored borrowers or lower middle market borrowers. But I think where the biggest opportunity is right now is in that asset-based finance space.
You know, one of the things that, you know, I'll point out is there are just constantly new and emerging asset classes in ABF. I mean, 2 years ago, nobody was talking about SRTs, like bank SRTs, right, which is, you know, synthetic risk transfers, where, you know, a bank will have a C&I book and they'll sell, you know, insurance on the bottom 15% of that, and that gives them, you know, regulatory capital relief. That's now like the trade du jour, right? Like everybody in ABF wants access to that trade. A lot of guys are doing fund finance now as well, including us. We just, you know, announced the $450 million deal a few weeks ago, another shameless plug, to a buyout private equity, you know, sponsor on a NAV basis. So we're doing a lot in like NAV financing and sort of GP level solutions. So just, I don't know if I agree with that $25 trillion number, but there's definitely just, there's new asset classes every single year that we're learning about. And I think the you know, the folks that lean into those new asset classes, and one of the things I was going to say is the people that spend, you know, the time figuring those asset classes out are really going to, you know, reap the rewards.
I think this question really is a great example of why private credit might be appealing to sort of any company owner. You know, I think there are certain sectors, particularly emerging sectors, that might have sort of unique financing needs that a traditional bank just, you know, might not be able to meet, or might not be able to kind of get their head around as quickly as a private credit fund could. As an example, I recently heard, this was from the American Investment Council, a story about, you know, a business that has laundry facilities in college campuses across the country. Great business, lots of cash flow. But in the summer months, right, you know, there's very little cash flow because all the kids are home for the summer. And, you know, a traditional bank is going through, looking at the quarterly financials, like wondering what happened to all the cash flow in the summer, right? So like private credit can kind of step in and be like, no, we understand this business, we can help you finance it.